Hey, this is Perrin. This is video number 3 with Wildfire. He is a relatively new to positive reinforcement training horse. We started last night, so it's only been about 24 hours. This is session number 3, following up pretty quickly on the heels of video number 2. And so far we've been teaching him to stay out of my space and a little bit of target training. You got a target? More out of my space. So I'm moving him pretty fast through this just to show you in the video. If I was doing this without video, I'd be doing a lot slower. He's not paying attention to me at all right now. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is how do we move the horse around. I've been doing a little bit of getting him to back up, and he's becoming more responsive to my requests. So right now we're going to move him side to side, and we're going to do turn on the forward and turn on the hind. Hind, yes. So, if I could get my videographer to come up for just a second. There's 3 positions that we think about when we're moving the horse. Normally your leg is going to be here, and that's when you push in this area, you're going to get movement that way. When you move your foot just a little bit forward or your hand a little bit forward and you push, you're going to control the shoulders of the horse. If you move your hand or your leg back behind the girth, then you're going to control the haunches of the horse. And so these 3 positions, you're going to mimic your foot as if you were riding with your hand first, because we always start on the ground, anything that we're going to teach in the saddle. And so we're going to move the front end, we're going to move side to side, and then we're going to move the hind end. And so move the hind end. I'm not going to use flat pressure. So this is more nervousness than anything else. So this is not as effective as this. Right? He's going to know a little bit more. It's like your finger is a spur, but you're not going to use a ton of pressure. You're just going to use enough, good, so that he feels it and moves. That was really, really nice. And we're going to try it again. I'm going to ignore the foot lifting. Okay, so that was avoidance. So that was a small move. He switched it, he moved his hips. And right now we're teaching, we're just going to get the minimal amount. So he's a little confused because he doesn't know what I'm asking. Give him a second to calm down. And then ask again. Good. I'm not really worried about it being pretty right now. All I'm looking for right now is for him to get the concept. If I touch, and unfortunately this is a time where I have to use a cue. Most horses, especially once they're under saddle, have been trained with negative reinforcement. Good. To yield to pressure. And so he has a general idea of what I'm asking for when I'm pushing. But what I'm looking for right now is the minimum amount. Good. That I can do to get him to move, and then I can reinforce it. Okay. So we've done turn on the 4 several times, and now we're going to do turn on the hind. Don't overdo it, especially in the beginning. Do not overwhelm your horse. So he just lifted the leg there. you have to hold the head, you can do that. Good. Now he's backing up, which is avoidance. Mostly because he doesn't know what I'm asking for. So if I hold the head, good, very nice. What we're shooting for is for him to cross the front legs when we're turning on the hump. That's avoidance. Good. At the moment, I'm using just a little bit of pressure pushing him over with the head. I'll be able to reduce that once he starts getting the idea. Okay. One more thing we're going to do is we've turned him so he rotates on the hind, we turned him so he rotates on the front, and now we want to go that way, parallel to this. So we're going to go this way. Now there's a couple ways that you can do this depending on your horse. You can start with the seesawing method, where you do a little on the shoulder, a little on the back, or on the belly here. You need to read your horse. So he's starting to get a little frustrated with me. He's starting to get a little antsy. It's okay to give him just a second to calm down or go back to something more familiar. Good. It's important that you don't make this uncomfortable, or it's important that you make it fun for them, enjoyable, especially in these early times. Good. Where he's learning about positive reinforcement and he's learning to do the behavior. We want it to be a pleasant experience. Can I do it one more time? Good. All right, now we're going to go back to something that's already become familiar. Good. And that's easy. Good. Okay. So I'll do a few more of those with him, just to make sure that we end on a positive, happy note. He did really well, considering that this was the first time and he's barely had any exposure to positive reinforcement training. I am really asking him to do a lot here. So he is moving forward very nicely, and I'm very happy with him. So that's it for right now. We will show you some progress with Wildfire as we move along. And so that's it for right now. Thank you.